We had a productive spring ball. I thought, I thought on both sides tonight, obviously you're mixing and matching personnels and that type of thing. Saw some good things, saw some, like I have throughout the spring. I saw some good things. I saw a lot we need to get fixed. I saw us being sharp in some areas at times, and I saw us being sloppy in some areas at times. And that's to be expected. And watch the film and see how some guys reacted. With the first time, obviously, in a while, and being in front of a crowd and that type of thing. But I thought overall, spring ball was a success. We got out of it what we needed to get out of it. Now we got a lot. I think we identified that, like I just told the team, we got a lot of work to do.
Coach, what impressed you most about this group in 15 practices? You didn't know much coming in terms of what you had, but now you've been working with these guys. What's impressed you most?
I don't know if anything in particular has impressed me. I mean, I think our want-to's there. I think we have a long way to go as far as I think we got to develop more leadership. I think we got to develop more mental toughness. And at the end of the day, I saw us go back in this game in some areas where we reverted back to some old bad habits. And that can't happen. You got to play. When you go out there when it's quote unquote for real, you got to carry over the things you've been coached to do when the lights come on. And I thought we struggled at times with that tonight. Some guys more than others, but that's you learn a lot over 15 practices. And I think as coaches, we've identified some things that we do well, and I think we've identified some areas where we need some definite improvement. And at the end of the day, I think one thing I've identified is we got to build more depth on this football team.
Coach, from a personal standpoint, it's been a whirlwind from you since you got here, hire, holidays, recruiting staff. Are you kind of glad spring practice is over a little bit now?
Honestly, I wish we had 15 more because I think that's what this team needs. But the guys have worked hard. We don't have a lot of numbers. We didn't have a lot of numbers coming in, and I think there's a big drop, especially at some positions between the first group, second group, and the guys that are playing and the backups. In some areas, those areas are too big. So we got to continue to develop our football team. And like I told our guys, spring ball might be over, but we got to enter the next phase of this spring and use it productively to keep getting better as a team, because we're going to need every day going forward and do the right things to get ready for August.
Coach, what do you think of the defense? They went through a lot of changes, but they made some key stops today.
Like I said, I saw some good things. I saw some sloppy play in some areas. I didn't think we tackled very well. I thought the first scrimmage we had this year, we tackled a lot better. Today, I saw a lot of guys stop their feet on contact and some sloppy things where guys bounced off. But and I just thought we looked like fundamentally I wasn't real happy with some of the things I saw out there on the field. But everything I saw is correctable. Like I said, it's about where I thought we were going into the scrimmage. I would have liked to see them been a little bit more sharp, but it's hard to say that when you're playing against each other, because somebody does good, somebody else is doing bad. So, I thought the competition was good, and I saw a lot of guys try to compete. I thought some guys had made some strides today and showed us that they're ready to help this football team. I think some guys didn't.
What specific areas you say depth? I mean, is it too early to tell? What you're looking at.
A little too early to tell, but I know this: we have close to 30 guys coming in this fall, and we're going to need some of those guys to provide us with some depth. Some guys that can come in and add numbers and especially help us on special teams and as backups and that type of thing, because there are just some areas and some areas that I saw during spring where I don't feel comfortable that we're deep enough to go through a 12-game season.
Coach, does it kind of charge you up the positive things you saw in spring, kind of charge you up knowing what comes in the fall here and in camp and what you're going to be able to do as a team?
Yeah, you know what? We want to, our expectation, our standard is to compete for a playoff spot and compete for a national championship. That's what we came here to do. I don't see any reason, if we come together and do the right things, why we can't make that happen. But it's not going to just magically happen. We're going to have to put the work in. And there's going to have to be a level of commitment with this group of kids that there hasn't been the last 4 or 5 years or whatever it is, whatever it's been. But, you know, our standard is to get back to the playoffs, and
What was your message to them
what we gotta do.
When you met with them just now? I mean, as the final practice, was there a message you gave them at all?
I said, you know, we're going to watch this film on Monday. We're going to talk about things. We're going to, they will have meetings with their coaches this week to get their assessment of how they did during spring ball and where they are. And I told them, I said, you know, just because spring ball is over, you can't. We have a lot of work to do as a team, and they need to understand that. And, you know, you can't just be ready. You're not going to be ready come August unless you get committed, unless that level of commitment's high enough that we're ready to work and get ready for August, and that needs to happen.